Welcome, Ravies and Germs, to Taking a Stab. You're watching this on the official NJ Today YouTube channel. My name is McConnaughay, and for today's edition, I'll be sharing my thoughts on the 2013 horror film, Curse of Chucky. I can still clearly remember the day that Curse of Chucky was first announced, and I can remember the day that it was released as well. October 8th, a friend and I went to the video store and rented the new film. For a long time, I've adored the original Child's Play films, and simply put, I very much wanted this film to serve as a return to form for the franchise after Seed of Chucky sent it spiraling in a bad direction. I'll lay my cards on the table. When I watched Curse of Chucky, I thought it was a terrible film, and I hated it. In retrospect, as I revisited it recently in anticipation of the new Cult of Chucky film, I think I might have allowed my affection for the series at its best to pay detriment to the actual quality that Curse had. Make no mistake about it, I still don't think Curse of Chucky is a good film, but it wasn't as atrociously bad as what I remember, and a lot of my criticism at the time was to do with what the film wasn't, rather than what the film was. Curse of Chucky was marketed as a return to form for the series, or at least it was positioned as scary, like the old Child's Play films. The truth about that proclamation, though, is that I never thought about those films as scary or anything of the sort. I've always thought of them as colorful, enthusiastic, and most certainly playful, and being about a foul-mouthed children's doll offing people. And I would always hear the criticism about these films weren't scary because Chucky himself wasn't very imposing as a threat. And my response is that the films themselves were never really positioned to be perceived as such. Curse of Chucky is more attuned to the mindset of a horror fare, with a more serious approach, and all in all, it's a decent enough film oftentimes dismayed by its own limitations. The Chucky doll looks more than a little off the whole way through, whether it be the chubby face or his goofy, dumbfounded facial expressions. The most off-putting moments I found were the scenes where he goes downstairs, and it just comes off very cheesy and animated. The film opted to head in the direction of a standard horror affair, focusing on a disabled woman named Micah Pierce after the death of her mother Sarah, as her family members, including her argumentative, condescending sister, arrive at the house to console her and discuss how to divvy up the mother's will. The word standard is a description that aptly describes Curse of Chucky as a whole, and it's also a word that rings through my head over and over again as I watch the film. The characters don't engage me as much as I like, with subplots about an affair love triangle involving the nanny and Nika's sister and brother-in-law. These sequences logically benefit the plot, but bog down the enjoyability of the experience because I never feel as though I've had a reason instilled for why I should care about these characters. In slasher films in general, characters can often feel like, pigs lining up for the slaughter, with characters like Nika's sister portrayed in such a rude, unlikable manner that you find yourself rooting for their demise. But a story well told is able to make these characters feel, if not less expendable, more entertaining to watch in moments leading up. And if they can't do that, they have to appeal to a more gratuitous approach that the genre often appeals to. The saving grace from the human side is Nika, who is played by Fiona Dourif, daughter of Brad Dourif, the actor who does the voice of Chucky. She provides a likable lead for the film. Curse of Chucky once more suffers from the fact that it is standard in most departments, and thereby it's unable to fully overcome its own weaknesses. Brad Dourif is fantastic in the voice role of Chucky, or at least he usually is, with his signature laugh and a lighthearted, dark enthusiasm that isn't often encountered in the slasher genre, or the horror genre in general for that matter. This film doesn't offer very much for him to work with, however. The lines they have for his character are cheesy, which has been a reoccurring trait for the Chucky series all along, but in this film the lines are cringeworthy bad. Group that in with what I said earlier about how awkward Chucky looked and how off-putting the special effects were, and the film's main antagonist isn't up to task with the payoffs that the film builds toward. The established connection between Chucky and Nika is also over the top and cliche. Curse of Chucky isn't the awful film I remembered it as, but the film plays it safe and doesn't engage with many unique ideas as far as the characters are concerned. Slasher films have survived this before, but where Curse really fails is that the series' namesake disappoints as well. The film never truly captured my attention or provided anything I'd single out as having a spark of inspiration. In retrospect, the film is an improvement on Seed of Chucky, simply because it doesn't make the same mistakes that Seed makes. At the same time though, at least that film was willing to try and fail at something different. I was more entertained by Seed of Chucky, but I would concur that Curse of Chucky is a more cohesive film. In all fairness, yes I know, Curse of Chucky was released direct to DVD and through video on demand. I just didn't want to believe it belonged there. Thanks for joining me on this edition of Taking a Stab, and if you agreed or even disagreed with my thoughts, feel free to share your opinion in the comment section below. I also have the review uploaded for Cult of Chucky as well if you want to check that out. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to my channel where I frequently post opinions on video games and movies. I am also a writer with my third novel, Catherine Forever with Love, set to arrive on Halloween, and it'd be great if you could check that out. Otherwise though, I don't really have much else to say. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.